So I'm speaking today with Franklin Oduro about his upcoming talk, The Formulation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission Policy in Africa, Lessons from Nigeria and Ghana. It's taking place on Wednesday, February 16th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. in room 433, Patterson Hall, and it's held as part of the Institute of African Studies Brown Bag series of lectures. Franklin Oduro is completing his doctoral studies in political science at Carleton University. He specializes in comparative politics and public affairs management with a focus on Africa. His dissertation topic is Transitional Societies, Democratic Accountability, and Policy Responses in Africa, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission Approach. Mr. Oduro has spent several months in South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana as IDRC Doctoral Student Research Award recipient in conducting field research on the proliferation of Truth and Reconciliation Commissions in Africa. Mr. Oduro is also a contract instructor in the Institute of African Studies at Carleton University. Thank you for speaking with me today. Mr. Oduro, you're an IDRC Doctoral Student Research Award winner because of your field research on TRCs in Africa. Tell us about your experience conducting field research in Africa.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's an opportunity to sort of go out there to investigate issues that affect the lives of Africans, right? And field research in itself is a very challenging but very interesting exercise. Sometimes you go with a certain approach, certain mindsets, certain kind of questions that you want to probe. But as you begin, you find out that the plan and the approach that you adopted, changes along the way. Mm-hmm. You begin to find certain interesting dynamics to your research area that may help you to develop your research focus properly. It is a combination of fun and also knowledge gaining. You travel to places that you haven't traveled before. You meet people that under normal circumstances you wouldn't have the opportunity to meet. You get to know first-hand experiences about things that you've read in the books about people that have contributed to certain aspects of what you're interested in. So, for instance, in my case, with studying truth commissions in Africa, I had an interesting opportunity to sort of meet with some of the commissioners that work on some of these truth commissions in Ghana and Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I had opportunities to meet and talk to victims of human rights abuses who avail themselves to these two commissions and sort of to hear their perspectives, to hear their experiences going before the commissions and how they feel after that. I got an opportunity to speak with politicians, and so there are different dynamics about field research, and I think it's fun and it's good.
And field research really changed your perspective then?
It does, because sometimes when you sit in the classroom and you do readings, theoretical readings, you don't feel the connection between what you're reading and the people that are involved. And so field research actually enhances your capacity to think. It builds your knowledge about whatever you're studying around, and also exposes you to different terrains, different environments, and different systems, different cultures. You learn a lot besides your own research work.
Do you have any advice to aspiring researchers on conducting successful field research or on securing funding?
Well, I think a couple of things that I'll suggest. One is that I think in terms of funding, it depends on where and the subject matter. But I think for me, when you're looking at Africa, the most interesting issues are research that has applied policy components. because as you know, there are a lot of challenges facing post-colonial African countries. A lot of these challenges also come from policy-related deficits, right? So many of these funders are interested in studies that has, in addition to theoretical contributions that you make to academia, you also have some applied policy benefits that come from that. And I think those things are good to sell.
Can you tell us more about the subject of your upcoming talk and about your current project?
Yeah, well, first about my current project, my dissertation is looking at truth and reconciliation commissions in Africa, and essentially trying to examine the reproduction or replication of this approach on the continent. And I'm focusing on South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana, three countries that I'm interested in looking at. And what I'm trying to ask is that what explains the proliferation of these bodies? Why is it that some countries choose to do, upload truth commissions, and they don't choose criminal trials, for instance? And I think it's a very interesting question in the sense that the question about why truth commission is already established, the importance of truth commission is already established. There are also significant amount of studies that really deal with the impact whether truth commissions have
Successful.
produced the benefits or the claims they do. But what has not been studied, in my view, is how are these bodies constructed in terms of policy? What is the politics behind the formulation of truth commissions? And I think that it speaks to a bigger question about policy discourse in Africa. It also speaks to a question about impact studies, because if you're able to understand how policies are created, you're able to understand the outcomes of these policies, because how it started leads to the end. And I think that whilst it is important to study the impact, it's also important to step back and say, okay, let's review how we got there. And so that is the biggest the topic that I'm looking at. But for the upcoming talk, I'm sort of narrowing down to Nigeria and Ghana, because these two bodies have been understudied. A lot of people don't even know that both countries had a truth commission. Usually when they talk about truth commission, it's about South Africa, Liberia or Sierra Leone. But these are countries that also employ the truth commission to address human rights abuse of the past. What are the contributions of these two bodies into the scholarship of truth commissions? And I think that there is also an element of these two countries that yields some understanding to current policy discourse in Africa. For instance, because these countries chose for themselves to employ truth commissions. They were not as it were like Sierra Leone or Liberia, where the truth commission was part of the peace agreement. So what informed the leaders of these countries to go for truth commissions? And this is one of some of the things that I want to talk about in my talk. And comparing what happened in Nigeria and Ghana, two countries that have more or less similar historical antecedents in terms of military interventions, in terms of British colonial rule. We're able to sort of come out with certain differences and similarities in the patterns that inform the formulation of truth commission, the policy discourse, and the lessons might be useful for other countries that are thinking of doing that.
Well, thanks again for speaking with me, Franklin, and I look forward to your full talk on Wednesday the 16th. It's from 1 to 2:30 p.m. in room 433 Patterson Hall, Carleton University, and it's called The Formulation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission Policy in Africa, Lessons from Nigeria and Ghana.
Thank you.
Thank you.